Trying a new setup right now. All right. Let's do this. Anyone got any questions? Yo, thanks, man. Thanks, Sergio. I appreciate it. You got any travel questions? I'm just eating up some dinner right now. Any travel questions? Travel insights? Stuff you want to talk about? Mexican food in Paraguay fucking sucks, man. Paraguay has to have some of the worst Mexican food on planet Earth. I've never been to El Salvador, but everyone's telling me that it's a lot better right now. So I feel like it's a country that can have a lot of value to go to when no one else is going. Yeah, Almacan, how's it going? My wife put me on this diet, and today's my one cheat day. So I'm cheating like crazy. Have you ever been to Guyana? No, I've never been to Guyana. It seems dope though. Most traditional European country. You'd probably be looking for like the Balkans, somewhere like that. But even so, like the problem with tradition with like I mean I think that like it's a good, you know, it's a good way of thinking about it to an extent, but it's not the end all be all. By the way, guys, please order my book, How to Find Your Latina Wife. But the reason why it's not the end all be all is because you have a lot of people, like it's about values, right? It's about what do you value as a person, and if a woman values money and success more than she values love and family, then like traditional, not traditional doesn't matter. Like the traditional values that she has are just a construct imposed on her to get her to do stuff. You know what I mean? Like I'd much rather have a less traditional Latina than a more traditional Eastern European girl any day of the week. Okay, that okay, this um great material. Thanks, man. Pure blood Canadians. I feel like you're responding to um my material about Indians and India. Hey man, what are your views on Thailand, Bangkok specifically? I think Thailand is way too overrun with tourists. I think that you should stay away from Thailand in general. You should go to other countries in Southeast Asia. The country in Southeast Asia that's basically what Thailand was 10 years ago is now Vietnam. So when someone tells you to go to Thailand, you should just go to Vietnam instead. Are Polish women worth it? No, quite frankly, they're not. Polish women can't cook. They're very feminist. And even the ones that are quote unquote traditional are not really traditional. Polish people define happiness by how much shit you have. So even if you have like a traditional wife, she's constantly going to be asking you to buy your stuff. Like, you know, it's not like there's no real such thing as a gold digger in Eastern Europe because that's kind of how like all women are in Eastern Europe. You know what I mean? To Asian wife as well. I don't know what that means. What about Asians, Paulie? I would honestly make a lot more videos about Asia, but none of my videos about Asia pop off. I don't know why, man, but none of them do. So if you guys would watch and like my videos about Asia, I'm happy to do more Asia videos. I love Asia. I've spent probably in total like a year now of my life in Asia. This is way better. So, you know, Asians are good, but Asians are also just very materialistic as well. Let's see your wife. This guy doesn't have a wife himself, though. No, I do have a wife myself. I'm married. It's my wedding ring. So Ukrainian would be similar to Polish. Yeah, Ukrainians are very similar to Polish. Ukrainians actually think Polish people are very cold, which is funny because like people in America can't really tell the difference between the personalities of Ukrainian and Polish people, but between Ukrainian and Polish people, there's a huge difference. Um, but again, Ukrainian women are kind of similar materialism to Polish women. Um, which neighborhood area in Rio de Janeiro are best? I prefer Flamingo. Just touched down in Medellin 2 days ago. It is beautiful here. December the lights. Yeah, I'm generally of the opinion that Americans should avoid Medellin nowadays. Um, I mean, it's an amazing city. I love Medellin, like, but they don't want Americans there nowadays. So I think. What does my wife think about my book? Her big problem is that it hasn't sold enough copies. So you guys better buy the book. Now, me and my wife don't really talk about. I mean, like she's obviously very aware of this TikTok, and she's like very proud of the success that we've had on it so far. But we don't really talk about the specifics that much. I really like to have like a Chinese wall between like my work life and my home life. Just because like you get like there's so much negativity, and people think that it's just the haters who are negative, but it's also my fans. It's a different type of negativity, and so I just don't like to think about it when I turn off my phone. So, you know, yeah. Um, Paulie, you're a goat, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Um, if you think that I'm the goat, there's a book over here by me, by the goat, that you could buy to help support my channel. I mean, I'm happy to keep on giving out free information, but I feel like at a certain point, you know, it's fair for me to ask people to pay a little bit of money. I'll buy the book. Thanks, man. Um, how do you keep separate when your work is by your life? I just don't think about it outside of work, man. I just don't think about any of this stuff. Like, I have time where I turn my phone off and I'm just with my wife, and that time is just us. And I don't think, weirdly like having more notifications and more followers makes it easier in a weird way. Because when you open up your phone and you have like five comments, you want to like respond to all of them and argue with all of them, and you're like into it. But like nowadays, if I don't look at my phone for 25 minutes, I open up TikTok, I have at least 10 comments. And like, I always, whenever I open my phone every 20 minutes, I have at least 100 notifications. And this is day or night, no matter what time of the day is, I have at least 100 notifications. And so for me, it makes it a lot easier to just like view it all as a giant stew. Someone asked, planning to go to Asuncion, what kind of women will I find in Asuncion and are they cute? You'll find so Paraguayan women are like there's a lot of German ancestry here, a lot of Italian, a lot of Spanish. There are a lot of Argentinian women here as well. And then there's also Venezuelan women. My wife is Venezuelan. And yes, they are cute. Um, sí hablo español. Um, Jason asks, do you find yourself pulling back on what you say online for fear of giving your wife a bad impression? No, I actually it's the opposite. Like I've said this a lot of times. Like being married is kind of a superpower in the content game because I really don't care what anyone thinks about me. Like people's opinions really do not matter, and that is the negative opinions or the positive opinions. They don't matter. Like I'm just trying to make money from this so that I can, you know, um, you know, feed my future family, make this a full-time job. So, yeah, I don't really care how people think about my wife. I don't really care how people think about me. My wife is completely disconnected from it, so she doesn't care. And we just find our life to be a lot better that way. Um, you know, like if you were to take a pie chart of people's opinions that I care about, like purple is my wife. It would literally just be a purple circle with like a tiny sliver of like green that you could see under a microscope. It really, people's opinions don't really matter. And again, this is like why I recommend people to get married. Safe to walk from Botafogo to Centro. Depends on time of day. During the day, I've done it many times. Hey, dude, nice to see you publishing, bro. Thanks, man. Um, if you wouldn't mind purchasing, I'd really appreciate it. Everybody on this live, if you don't mind buying the book, link is in my bio. Um, I knew a Venezuelan girl once. Okay, tell them to visit Belo Horizonte. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and this is like really critical for people to understand, is that like the cool like countries and cities are kind of like a nightclub. You know what I mean? And like the cool nightclub 1 week is a terrible nightclub 3 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like there has to be exclusivity to it. There has to be only a certain type of traveler. And by the way, there are a lot of travelers who see me as the type of traveler that they don't want. Like there are tiers of travelers, and like for me, there are a lot of travelers where if I see a certain type of traveler, I avoid that location. And so the problem is that like you know what a place that's cool 1 year, 2 years later is not. And I think that like Medellin is like the perfect example of this. But um, any advice on finding Christian Asian women? Yeah, I mean um, the advice on finding Christian Asian women is the same advice that I would give on finding Christian women of any ethnicity. First of all, you should do it. Second of all, like the easiest way to do it is to go to church. You know what I mean? Like what I recommend doing is go to church, right? And like in Asia, all the churches have English services at some point during the day. Not every single one, obviously, but like most cities, they'll have like an English service, and like go. And at the end of the service, I mean, if you're looking for Christian women, I'm guessing you're a Christian, right? You know that they say like on Tuesday we're having a food drive. On Thursday we're having a Christian ballroom dancing lesson, some shit like that, right? Okay, go to that. And then what I recommend doing is don't go and approach women. Instead, go and approach like married couples. You know what I mean? Like, approach women that do not think that you're hitting on them. And then what you do is you introduce yourself and say, "Hey, my name is David. I just moved here. I'm looking, to, find people to connect with." And they'll ask you, "Hey, are you married?" And you say, "No, I'm not married, but I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for a good Christian woman. They're, yada yada yada." And then they'll set you up like that. It's easy as pie, man. Um, Thanks, Stoic. I appreciate it. It will definitely save you money. There's a chapter in there on how to save money when you fly. So um, you can definitely save money on that. What's the attitude of women in Asuncion? I've been in Medellin in the last 4 months, and there's a big foreigner backlash. Yeah, I mean that's why I tell people to not go to Medellin. Is there's a big foreigner backlash? Don't go to places where you're not wanted. That just seems intuitive to me. In Asuncion, they love people here, man. If you're going to Asuncion, I'm gonna be in Asuncion until April. Hit me up, MNG. MNG, I'm pretty sure you found me through TikTok, so just send me a DM. If anyone in Asuncion, by the way, and who wants to meet up in the next few months, I'll be here chilling. God bless you. Thanks, dude. Do I have a Latina wife? Yes, my wife is from Venezuela. What's my opinion on London? Um, you should avoid London. Why would you go to London? That makes zero sense to me. What can I learn from the book you wrote? A lot of things, man. You can learn. Um, I mean, if you're a basement dweller who like hasn't dated in a while and is looking to move abroad, you can find general rules on how to like go meet women abroad. Either pay for play or sugar relationships or that type of stuff. If you're somebody who has traveled abroad and you're looking to like find a girl that you can actually settle down with, and you're looking to avoid red flags of bad girls that you should avoid, I have information on that. If you're somebody who's like wanting to be in a relationship with Latina, but you're afraid about how vivacious and angry that they are, I give you a lot of tips on how to argue with Latinas to make sure that you win those fights. um, I give you a whole bunch of information in that book, man. Whole bunch of information. Uh, Anyway, thoughts on Manaus? I mean, Manaus is. I think of Manaus the same way that I kind of think of like Foz do Iguaçu. Is that there's a specific reason why you go to Manaus? Could I do an audiobook of it? I'll see if I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can upload it. Um, can you not read? Are you not able to read? But yeah, no, I haven't done an audio version of it. That's a whole thing. I need some people to buy some copies of this book before I start investing in like the 50-hour process to like record the audiobook. So, that's I am thinking of making a regular live, just doing like a Paul Lashinsky show every day. So we might just be doing this on a daily basis. The goal will be doing it on, yeah, I do audiobook. Audiobooks sell well. Okay, man. I mean, buy the Kindle, man. Here's the thing. Like, this is this is actually kind of the thing that pisses me off about this whole conversation is a whole bunch of people are telling me to do the audiobook, and then if I actually spent the 50 hours to record the audiobook, I'm pretty sure none of you would actually buy the audiobook. Right? I mean, come on. I mean, we all know that. The fact that there's not an audiobook is just an excuse that you're making for the fact that you don't want to spend the money on the book. And if you don't want to spend the money on the book, that's fine, man. Like I haven't even been pushing this book that hard on this live. I just have it here. But you know, I had this person in my Discord the other day be like, yeah, man, I would love to buy the book, man, but it's just tough. Money's tough right now. And I was like, it's $10, man. And here's the thing, like you can say I'm not buying the book, or you can just not buy the book and not say anything. But the person was trying to get the brownie points of buying the book without buying the book. And that's kind of what you're doing. You're trying to get the brownie points of, I would buy this book if there was an audiobook. But because there's not an audiobook, I can't buy the book. So it's your fault that I'm not buying the book. That's basically what you're saying to me. But you and I both know that if I were to record a fucking audiobook, you wouldn't buy it. Right? I mean, we both know that. So I'm not having an audiobook. Yeah, exactly. Show us your wife to see you're legit. I think that's fair. Love the videos. No, how about that? I think that's fair. I think saying no is it's so weird the amount of people that want to see a photo of my wife. Like I think it's a weird like sexual thing that you guys have with me. I legitimately think that a lot of your behavior of dudes who say that type of stuff is like on the line of like, is it straight? Is it not? Because like, why do you care what my wife looks like? How does back up, right? Let's say my wife was the ugliest woman on earth, right? Let's just say that, right? Let's say she's the ugliest woman on earth. She's fat. She's horrendous. She's the worst, right? What does that mean to you? Like, I'm still saying here, I'm happy with my wife, right? Like your whole mentality of I am going to decide my value based upon what other men think of the women that I'm with is the reason why you're a miserable, sad, lonely person. And it's the reason why nobody likes you, to be frank, Harrison. Like that's why nobody likes you. Because you go around and you're like trying to show that you're a better person for picking up hotter women, which by the way, I'm sure that most of the women that you're picking up, you're paying for, and you're just lying about that. You know, there's a whole group of people that do that. But again, that's why you're a miserable, unhappy person. Like the real truth of this book, and by the way, my wife is not ugly. My wife actually right now we're having issues where she's not able to get pregnant because she is too skinny. So like our doctors are telling her to eat more food so that she can get pregnant. So like no, she's not fat and ugly, right? But even if she was, it wouldn't matter. What I'm trying to tell you is that you should stop like I just had an interview where I was talking about this. Like do you not think it's a little I don't know what I'm allowed to say on TikTok, a little not 100% straight to be like with a girl and be thinking to yourself, man, I wish, what do you think dudes would think about this? Right? Like that's not very straight. Right, Harrison? So you're miserable, you're sad, you're lonely, no one likes you, and you're not straight either. So that's my response to you, Harrison. Um, anyway, do I like Mexican food? I love Mexican food, man. Have I spent my entire life dedicated to passport, bro? No, man. I started traveling 2.5 years ago, and I made this TikTok in May. I didn't even think about this. And like the funny thing about my account, man, is that literally like I spend maybe like 5 minutes a day making videos. And besides that, I don't really think about it that much. I won't show my Latino wife either, only partial face shots. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of weirdos on the internet, man. Just watch your video. You're a genius. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. If you think I'm a genius, buy the book. Hey, man from Canada, huge fan of your work. Aw, thank you. If you're a huge fan of my work, one work, um, and live, um, if you're a huge fan of my work, you'd probably be a huge fan of this book, How to Find Your Latina Wife, and you can order it right now. Link is in my bio. Have you thought about going to the gym? Yeah, I have. Oh my God, wait, I thought your channel was satire. Is this real? I get one of those comments like once a week. One thing I find hilarious about this channel is that like I love so many people on Amazon for the Kindle version. It says its title is not currently available for purchase. Really? Is anyone else getting that issue? Is anyone else getting the issue that's not available for purchase? Can you try this link? Is anyone else getting that issue that you can't purchase it? Anyway, the rant that I was going to go on is there are a lot of people who make a lot of comments that they think are like interesting and unique, but I literally just get the same comments over and over again. And so it's like, you know, come up with some original stuff. So Lit Warrior says no, it works, and then MNG5659 says yes, it still says the same. Lit Warrior says it works. Anyway, yeah. ¿De qué parte de Venezuela es tu esposa? Mi esposa está de Caracas. You know, it wasn't satire as well as not edgy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been literally just traveling nonstop for 2.5 years. Okay. But vamos a iglesia en 2 horas, okay? Bueno, tengo comida mexicana en la vera.
¿Con quién hablas?
Un live.
Ay, hola, gente. Hello.
My wife is here.
Entonces, voy a cambiar.
Bueno, te amo. Girl like big guys. I'm in Sao Paulo in recommendations. Guys, please avoid Latin America. Why? I'm a Hispanic. How do I find my white wife? Are you Hispanic? You have a Spanish flag. That's not really Latino, man. Come on now. We all know Spain's not really Latinos. Come on now. Yeah, we speak Spanish at home. My wife needs to learn English, but like it's half her fault and half my fault. Like if my wife was like all out trying to learn English, she would have learned it already. If I was a hard ass forcing her to learn English, she would have learned English already. But like it's easier for me to just speak Spanish, and it's easier for her to just not learn English. So that's just kind of what we. But like, we need to start imposing an English only rule at home. Hope y'all are voting blue. No, I'm not voting blue, man. That's this is a channel about how horrible feminism is and how feminism has destroyed the life of men in the West. And you are, where's my wife from? She's from Venezuela, Caracas. Well, actually, Guarico. Anyway, this is a channel about how feminism has destroyed the lives of men. You really think we're voting blue? I maybe some people are, but like, this isn't a liberal space. Yeah, we plan on living in South America forever. Francesco Totti, a Francesco Totti, a Francesco Totti. I don't go to Venezuela. We met. So you like immigrant girls, but want to keep them away from it. Well, my wife is not an immigrant girl. I'm living in Latin America. Francesco Totti. Francesco, you're spelling your name with a H. Did you really do you really spell Francesco with an H? Francesco Totti? My my future child's name is going to be Francesco. Actually, that's one of our planned names for my kids. Francesca. It's going to be Francesco or Francesca, depending on which it is. And you're spelling it with an H, bro? Come on now. No, we don't. Yeah, me and my wife are not going to be living in the United States. We're living abroad. I don't want to move back to the United States. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Jason. Like, I appreciate that. Like, look, I'm not. This isn't supposed to be a political channel. I don't want to get into it, but I've gotten really dissatisfied with politics in general. Obviously, like, I don't think politics is going to be making the lives of Americans better because I left the country. So, like, you know. But anyway, no, we're not on the left here. Francesco Totti, horrible mentality. What's my horrible mentality, bro? Wait, whose mentality is horrible, Sajar? So this is funny. This is funny. Who are my favorite other Passport Bro content creators? Can I tell you something, man? I don't watch TikTok. That some people don't realize. I actually don't watch TikTok at all. Um, yeah, I don't. Um, I'm more of an Instagram guy, but I do have a couple of friends on this that I made from TikTok. So one is Stoic Ventures, who's been in the comments. Love you, Stoic. Um, Another one is Colombian Odyssey. He really knows a lot about Cartagena. Another one is this guy named Max Wolfong. Max Wolfong, I actually owe a lot to. So me and Max, about a month ago, we were both at 20,000 followers. Specifically, I was at like 19.5 and he was at like 19.6. And every day I logged on, he was gaining followers at a faster pace than I was. Like, he was getting 200 a day and I was getting 100 a day. And that really pissed me off. That was one of those like Michael Jordan and I took that personally moments. And so if you guys saw that, like, it's probably like it is my most successful video. I had two videos in a row that I made like back to back that got over 1 million views each. And literally, I made those videos because I was so pissed off at Max for getting more views than me that I just went crazy. And I just, it was like, I need to engineer the perfect video to get views. And I did. And now I'm at 40,000. And that little bitch is still at 20,000. What an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. He has great content. You guys should watch it. So yeah, so those are my three: Stoic, Colombian, and Yeah, but I'm not ordering a wife though. Where can I find the largest diaspora of Chinese women outside of China? Well, one in like San Francisco or like California. But if you're looking for outside of that or outside of Asia, Peru. Peru has a huge amount of Chinese people. It was actually, I made a video about this. It's actually a really sad story. So, like, basically, what happened was in the late 1800s, Latin American countries outlawed slavery and but they weren't going to like start treating workers better. So what they did was they basically so at the same time China was having like famine, civil war, all this crazy shit happening. So they basically brought in Chinese workers to Peru to basically act as like slaves, not like literal slaves, but basically slaves. So that's why Peru has so many Chinese people. Use your stoicism to justify. So I use stoicism to justify my inability to find girls. What are you talking about? I'm married, bro. I'm happy. What Shajar? What are you even saying? Like, what's the argument that you're making here, man? You're just upset. You're just sad. Best place for the curviest women. Yo, Tell C Blix, yo, he wants some fatties. No, I'm just kidding. Um, well, first of all, America, but you could go to like Brazil. Brazil has some curvy women. Yeah, Shadra, is he talking to me or is he talking to you? I'm not really sure. Just Chinese men though, or whole families? Yeah, so I'm happy you asked. So originally just the men, but then they brought their families, and then what eventually happened, and this is the thing that like Peruvians, it's ironic because like right now Chinese people are like, like 7% of the population, but like own like 40% of Peru or something like that. Some outsized number like that. And basically what happened was after this basically like peasant slave class came and like established a base of Chinese people in Peru, then the merchant classes in the early like around like 1905 to 1925 in China, they started going to South America, and they were the ones who like started establishing it. But yeah, originally it was just the men, and then they brought their families too. Will I be good in Brazil if I only speak Spanish? Um, so here's what I say about that: if you are a native Spanish speaker, a native thinking in Spanish, everything, you'll be fine. If you're anything short of that, no, you can't speak Spanish. You can't speak gringo Spanish in Brazil and get by. That's not happening. Couldn't you find fresh off the boat Latinas in the United States? Theoretically, but I actually go into this in my book. The problem in the United States is that you have an overall culture that's designed to break down the family and break down marriages, right? So even if you find a woman in Latin America and bring her to the United States, you still have this overall cultural infrastructure that is dedicated to breaking down your family and breaking down your life. So it's much better to just go to another country and not deal with that than to like deal with that in the United States. Still loyal to the Paulie pack. Thanks, man. If you're really loyal to the Paulie pack, guess what you could do? You could buy my book. Very much appreciate that. Heroes Wear Boots. Yes, I wrote a book. It's available on Amazon. Link in bio. Am I married? No, I've been to China for a few days, but like I can't really speak to it. Am I married? Yes, I am married. Is it fine in Brazil if I speak Spanish? I already answered that. Gotcha. Thanks. Peru's on my bucket list now. In Brazil, they speak Portuguese, losers. Um, yeah, but what I was saying is that the two languages are similar enough that if you are a native Spanish speaker, you can you can get by in Portuguese. If you are not, you can't. I love your content. I was about to be a passport bro, but fell in love in another life, my dude. Yeah, I mean, this book also has some good tips for just relationships as well, and for travel. So even if you fell in love, even if you married, you can still buy How to Find Your Latina Wife. China's great. My favorite place to visit. Not necessary for womanizing, but it's great to go as an American. Yeah, dude. I just didn't want to do the whole visa thing, to be honest with you. I hate paperwork, so that's why we didn't go to China on my recent trip. But we were hoping to. Is your wife a Latina? Yeah, my wife is a Latina. You're a legend, mate. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. For people who think I'm a legend, for people who love my content, I wrote a book, How to Find Your Latina Wife. The link is in my bio. It goes to Amazon, and you can buy the book today. So, if you want to show support to the channel, if you want to show support to me, I would really appreciate it if you guys bought the book so that we can, you know, so I can turn this into a full time job so I can get you guys some better content as well. Geomax and Paulie. Thoughts on Kenya and Uganda? I haven't been. Got the book today, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. DVW, you got the book today. What time did you get the book? I'm seeing no sales today. Might take some time to update though, so we'll wait and see. But if I look back and Sunday still has zero sales, I'm coming at you hard. I don't think it's complicated enough to warrant writing a book. Okay, well you clearly have never done it. Where in Latin America are you planning on going to? Um, how are you planning on living as a digital nomad? What about when you get into a fight with your Latina? How do you negotiate that? Latinas are notoriously hot-headed. See, there are a lot of questions. Geomax and Paulie. 9 a.m. Central Time. Been reading it. That's weird. That's weird that I didn't. Best spot to find wife material. Having success in the U.S., but promiscuity is wild here. Well, you are in luck, Kai Massino, because in my book, bro, that's what I'm doing, Lit Warrior. Come on now. In my book, How to Find a Latina Wife, I not only tell you the best spots to find a girl with, a good Christian girl, but I also help you. I also give you some strategies to go find those girls, the places where those girls are at, and then also how to make sure that the girl that you're dating is actually a good girl and not a bad girl who's trying to take advantage of you. Now, my name might think that that is a very simple thing to understand, but if you are worried about that, then you should definitely buy the book. Is the wife pissed about the content? No, dude, my wife loves it. 40,000 followers, starting to make money. Oh, wow. I appreciate that, DVW. It might have counted for yesterday then, maybe? I don't know. Wait, time in Chicago. What time is it in Chicago right now? It's 1. Oh, you bought it at 11 a.m. Chicago time? I it's not. Anyway, you're a good writer. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Throw money at the problem. Can you write a book on how to find an Asian wife? I don't know. I think you can like take a lot of the concepts of this book and apply it to Asian women. I haven't married an Asian woman, so I can't like speak to that specifically. But if you're looking to marry an Asian woman, you can just, read this book. Does the wife understand English? No, she doesn't speak English. That's something that I covered in the book, by the way. If you are dating a woman who speaks English, there are two reasons why. If you're dating a woman in Latin America who speaks English, there are two reasons why she speaks English. The first reason is that she's really rich and bougie and comes from like an upper class background where she speaks English, right? Where she's expected to speak English, the same way that like a woman 200 years ago is expected to speak French, right? That means she's bougie. That means she's pretentious. That means she also has, is stuck up. And finally, it means that she's probably a feminist too, right? So you don't want to date those girls. And then two, if she speaks English, she's not one of those girls, that means that she's specifically trying to find an American to date. So it's one of those two options. None of those options are good. So you should not date, you should not marry women in Latin America who speak English. How long did it take from meeting her to marriage? A year and a day. We got married a year and a day after. I'm a university professor. We have lots of faculty who are Chinese or married to Chinese women. Nice. How do I get a Latina, bro? Help a brother out. There's literally a book here called How to Find Your Latina Wife. Order now, link in the bio. Sirki, you should just buy the book. I promise you, once you buy the book, you will know exactly how to find one. Anyway, and any more questions? Yo, Lit Warrior, do you feel like you're sold on the book or not? Do you have more questions? See, I gotta say, my name is. I appreciate that. Like, my name has been fighting with me this whole time about whether or not you should buy the book. But when push comes to shove, he was like, "Yo, buy the book." So, you know, I appreciate that. Good looking out. My name is. Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Chicka Chicka Sim Shady. I'm working for Mossad, Paulie. Okay, great. How can I help you? This is one of the reasons why I don't give out my address, and I'm trying not to get I'm trying not to get Charlie Kirked. So go to Cancun this week. Not really the place to meet my tribe, but any recommendations? No, I don't really know. I don't go to places like Cancun. Cancun is not Mexico. You know what I mean? Cancun is Mexico the same way that like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like an example. Like Cancun is just like America. Is there delivery to Georgia? No, there isn't. But you can actually buy the Kindle version. Yeah, like Vegas is America. Oh, is that Charlie? Is Pablo Jr. Charlie? Fuck. Yo, what up, Charlie? The whole gang is here. What if I don't want to move abroad for Latina? I don't know what to tell you, man. What if I want to move abroad for Latina? I don't know. Like I guess if you don't want to move abroad for Latina, then you gotta like reconfigure your mindset to the point where you want to move abroad. That's the solution, I guess. Like it's cheaper, it's better, it's easier. Like why wouldn't you want to move abroad for Latina? Should we hop on the live too? Hi, bro. Bahamas are not really traveling abroad either. What do you think about Oaxaca? I haven't been to Oaxaca, but I have a lot of friends from Oaxaca. It's apparently the food capital of Mexico. Mena, you're the real MVP. Yeah, Mena is the real MVP. Yo, Mena, I was waiting to find out. Like, wait, can I? Yeah, exactly. Um, Something in general. Oh, yo, Meta is the goat, man. Honestly, like Meta, I think that like part of what I loved about um, Egypt is just that you are from Egypt. Like I felt like I just felt, I was just like, Meta is from here. I can't not like this place. You know what I mean? Like I know you were born and raised in New Jersey, but like you're Egyptian. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to like this place. Hio or Medellin. I go into this in the book that you really shouldn't be going to either of them. I mean, Hio is the most beautiful city on the planet. You should go there at least once. Yada yada yada. Don't go to Medellin anymore. Which countries do you focus on in your book? I don't really focus on. So this is actually an interesting question. I don't really focus on any specific country, and the reason is because like countries and cities are kind of like nightclubs. You know what I mean? Like there's a club that's cool one week, but then the wrong crowd goes there and it stops being cool. That's kind of like what countries and cities are. Where like you have a city like Medellin was cool 10 years ago, but right now is just lame and dorky. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that everyone who goes to Medellin is lame. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, it's kind of, you know, anyway, all that to say, like in the book, I'm trying to tell you how to think about what countries to go to, not give you a list because the list will be obsolete in like a couple months anyway. Um, Medellin was great 2020. Yeah, Mr. Baker's basically like saying everything about Medellin. Am I aged out at 50 meeting a Latina wife? No, dude, you're good, bro. You can meet a Latina wife at any age. I love Medellin, but it's basically pay for play. Yep, that's the problem with Medellin. Medellin was great 2020. Yeah, I went 2023 and I enjoyed it. Poland crazy for party. Way too many passport bros in Medellin. There are a lot of passport bros right now at Asuncion, to be honest with you. There are a lot of passport bros here. I'm thinking of like starting a show of doing this like an hour a day. We'll call it the Paul Ashinsky show. Yo, Mr. Baker, like I appreciate you saying that, but at the same time, you're like, man, Medellin sucks now. That's why I keep on going there. Like, I don't think my internet's good enough to go. Man, I'm trying to accept you, but it's not letting me. What do you think about Uruguay? So I remember like this is like really childish, but like back in like 2006 or something, like we were like in a in like a World Cup. No, I didn't coin the term passport, bro. We're like in a World Cup draw with um Uruguay, like a World Cup group or something. And there was this bit on like Adam Carolla's show where he was like trash talking different countries that like we were playing against in soccer, and he was like, Uruguay, what? You're gay? And I literally I've been laughing about that for 20 years now. It is just the funniest the funniest joke. It's so stupid. But anyway, Uruguay is just very expensive. Have I been to Croatia? Um. Oh yeah, you're in right now. Here, I'll invite. Oh, that's why. That's why I can't hear you. My audio is down. That's why I can't hear you.
I'm in the line. I'm just trying to convince Charlie and Stoic to get in here too.
No. Someone asked me if I've been to Croatia. Yeah, I've been to Croatia. Croatia's dope. It's really expensive though nowadays. Croatia's like a tourist trap. You're not gonna really be going for like the Croatian culture. You're really gonna be going, it's all like tours in Croatia. You know what I mean? It's all trips and stuff.
So, what's good, bro? The gang's all here almost. Yo, Charlie or Pablo, man, I want to be referred to. Join, bro. I thought Odyssey was here now.
He is, but I can't invite him for some reason.
Yeah, I stepped away for a little bit, so I don't know what's going on.
My favorite country I've gone to is Japan. No question about it. I love Japan. I love Japan so much. I would never live in Japan, but like I love visiting Japan. Although apparently now there are like a ton of Indians in Japan. Dude, the other day I had a live and this Indian dude just came in and was just heckling me for like an hour. And I decided that I could go on a warpath against India. Like I've made so many videos criticizing so many countries, and none of them have ever like come at me the way that Indians have come at me. Like even Egypt. I mean, I was kind of criticizing Egypt in my video about Egypt. I mean, I was saying some good things about it, but I was also saying some bad things about it. No Egyptian was like on a vendetta against me, but India, they're crazy. So I'm gonna do a week of just shitting on India because of that. That guy earned it. Anyway,
It's well deserved.
dude, it's the worst. I
I
I
haven't even been to India, but I know.
the funniest thing for me is like Indians are just like, what do you hate about India? Like you're racist for not being want to be around Indians. I'm just like, you're the one who doesn't want to be around Indians. You're the one who lived in a place that was all Indians and you decided to leave. You are the anti-Indian racist, not me. Like,
Do you ever watch Bald and Bankrupt's YouTube videos?
no, what is that?
Oh, thing. He's like this British dude, but like not like a cut British dude, like a Charlie's type of British dude, and like he just goes to like Latin American and Eastern European countries, like gets fucked up with the locals, like and just vlogs the entire thing. And I think he'd like his videos, but the one thing is that he likes the chaos of India for some reason. So that's just the one thing with him. I'm just like, all right, man, come on, you can't like it that much.
It might be just trying to get like a contrarian opinion about India. You know, try to.
He goes like the middle of like the slums there, and he's just this bald white guy in his 40s, and he just sticks out like a sore thumb. And all the Indian kids will like run to him, like, oh my god, white man, oh my god. I was in Bangalore for a week, and I think I had gotten some poisoning the last day, but during the week, my favorite two places to be were the tech company, the office I was working in, and the hotel. So that tells you a little bit something about the area. If I wanted to be at work or at the hotel more than out. Yeah, and isn't Bangalore like one of the more newly developed spots? Yeah, they had poor planning when they developed it, but what else is new? Yeah.
So John made this point that like I think about it a lot, which is that like he was like, we thought India was some yoga spiritual mecca before the internet. And like, I think this is so true that like Indians will always tell you like you dislike India because of ignorance. And it's like, no, actually what I didn't know anything about India, I loved it. It was the act of knowing more about India that has made me dislike it. The more I've learned about it, the less I've liked it. Like when it was just Indian food in a poo, it was just like awesome.
And it's like India and the French, they're both like for some reason, like the French, it's okay, like a little bit for them to be cocky. It's like even though the French suck and it's not like cheese, at least like they can be attractive here and there. But like the Indian, I just don't get it. Like how do you have this cocky confidence? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
I'd say their caste system is probably even more polarized than our left and right system we have in America. I mean, just arguably so. Like the way that they treat different sects within India. And I know that there's like a lowest, I forget which sect it is, but the way they treat that particular class is just that dichotomy is worse than like the MAGA versus the leftists here.
No, and that's fundamentally why India is such a shitty place, is because people think that like if you're poor, it's because you're an evil person, and if you're rich, it's because you're a good person. And so you have this incredible crabs in a barrel mentality where it's all about personal aggrandizement. Because if you're poor, that means you're evil. You know what I mean? In the West, we at least believe, and again, like, do all Westerners believe this? Do all people like hold to this? No. But like in the West, if you're very rich, you at least have some shame about it. You know what I mean? Like there's some shame. Like Christianity teaches that, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter into heaven. Like, so for us, we try to help the community. We try to help the people around us. Well, in India, it's literally just trying to grab as much for yourself as possible, which like is the reason why it's so bad there, because nobody looks out for the public interest. Aman said that the food in India is unbelievable, which I think is true. Which, by the way, speaks to how terrible the country is, because I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am overweight. I am a foodie. And so if India is my second favorite food country. So if my second favorite food country is my least favorite country, that shows that everything else is really terrible.
Were you eating were you trying to avoid like street food, obviously, and you done like high class restaurants, or did you avoid food poisoning?
I did some street food. I didn't really go to high class restaurants. I went to just like casual dining places. My aunt though gave me. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So guys, if you are one quick diversion, person was saying that he couldn't buy the book, and it turned out is because he is in Colombia. So if you are in a foreign country and you can't buy the book, just like use a VPN or use something else so that they could tell them you're in the United States. It's the same price no matter where you are. So, but anyway, no, I was just eating out of regular restaurants and it was great. But I also took this it was basically a constipation pill. It was a pill to like not let you poop, and that's I literally didn't poop for like 2-3 weeks when I was in India because I didn't want to like get like food poisoning.
Dude, I ate in all high-end places or places sanctioned by work, as well as the hotel, which is a very nice. It was a Radisson property, but it was a very higher-end one. Still got food poisoning, so I honestly don't know what the hell to do in that country other than just accept I'm going to get sick. But
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say that like I actually personally I object to when people make jokes about Indian people smelling bad because I think that there is a much larger issue about it. And if the only issue with India was the food poisoning, it would be it'd be fine. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of places in the world where you get food poisoning. The problem with India is like all of this other stuff. But but yeah. But are there any Indian people here who want to argue with me or no? I guess not. Come join. I might just lay down the gauntlet one day and just say, here, I'm gonna spend 5 minutes on a video talking about how terrible India is, and then any Indian who wants to argue with me, go ahead, but you have to buy the book. Um, but anyway, how are you guys doing? How's life? I'm Indian. I agree with most of what you said. But I was going to say one last thing about India, and I legitimately believe this because I have friends who are ethnically Indian who were born and raised in America, and like I've said this to them, and I say this to anybody: if you are of Indian heritage, you're born and raised in America, and you have assimilated to American culture, you see yourself as an American, yada yada yada. I don't see you as Indian. You know what I mean? Like if you are acting as like I don't believe in any racial hatred. I'm just saying that I find the culture to be terrible. So, but if you have accepted American culture, I'm more than happy to have you. But anyway, sorry, man. Continue.
no, well, to piggyback on I don't even see myself as Egyptian because, like, I'm just, I am obviously blood. Like, you're Polish in your blood. I'm Egyptian in my blood. But, like, the way I speak, the way like, my personality, the things that I'm interested in, I'm American at the end of the day. Anyone can pick that up anywhere I go in the world from me just opening my mouth for like 3 seconds. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, no, isn't it? It's kind of scary, isn't it, that India's gonna be like, because China has such a low birth rate, and India, I think the median age is like 30, and they're just growing and growing and growing. They're gonna be a dominant force in the upcoming decades. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, man. It's just like I just wish there was the option of just not being around them. You know what I mean? Like that was dude, so Poppy Millspat was the guy who was trolling me the other day. Anyway. Yeah, no, it's tough. Did you see that there was this thing where like Ethiopia has had more births last year than all of Europe? Did you see that? That was crazy.
I know Nigeria is really.
Oh,
It's supposed to be like the third most populous country.
on Nigeria is it? Oh, guys, total fertility rate in India is below 2. We still have a chance. Anyway, was
I was looking up, Paulie. I was looking up what like the highest fertility like rate amongst a certain group is in America, and like I was thinking like maybe like whites was gonna be slightly below 2, and then blacks, African Americans was gonna be like like maybe like at 3 or something, but they were both around like under 2. Can you guess who was like at 8 children per kid? Which group in America?
Orthodox Jews.
Not a bad guess. They were definitely higher, but this one has just blows everyone else out of the water. And you can, I guess a hint would be sometimes they dress similar to the Orthodox Jews.
Huh. I actually have no idea. Orthodox Christians? Oh, Amish.
Like yes, the Amish. Dude, the Amish are gonna be the dominant force in America. This is kind of lit. Yeah, I have to say Mormon. That would be my next guess.
I try not to mention that I watch his podcast while talking to like my friends and family, but like back home. But I love Tucker Carlson, and like one point that he makes a lot is he's just like, you know, like how like you keep on telling me that there's this prosperity and happiness. How is there prosperity and happiness if you're not having kids? You know, what I mean, if this society is choosing to not continue, how is there like happiness and prosperity? And that's the thing is like, I think the Amish might have figured it out, man. I think the Amish, I think we should all just become Amish, to be honest. I'll ask my wife.
Yeah. We can take Amish wives. Like my mom told me you should marry an Amish girl. I'm like, I don't know if they'll accept me, but sure.
Amish. I think Mormons have a lot of kids too, right?
Definitely. I didn't look up their specific birth rates, but some Mormon missionaries have like come by my house before. I know my mom always lets them in, and because they're talking about Jesus, they're just like, all right, come in. And they told me like, yeah, we had 7, 8 brothers and sisters growing up.
That's nice. I mean, that's Latino families. My wife has like 7 siblings. Josefa says, "You don't understand how famous Bollywood is in Latin America. If you look up Shankara Khan, bro, like no, I'm married to a Latina. I know how popular Bollywood is here. It's not. Anyway, sorry. We're just gonna keep on getting some like Indian trolls coming in here, but
Join the live, guys. I want to hear your accents. So you talking about Amish? So when I was in Pennsylvania, I had a construction crew full of Amish employees out in Lancaster. Nobody worked harder and nobody had more kids. Amos, who was the foreman working with me, he had 10 kids, ranging from like 3 all the way down to 8.
Good job, Amos.
And then he had like 7 different businesses on top of doing construction, and they were like bottling cider. And he asked me just, hey, can you use your truck and trailer to pick up our bottles? I was like, yeah, no problem. So I pick him up on a Friday, and he gets a bucket brigade with his 10 kids, and they're climbing on top of these 8-foot stacks of boxes and handing them down and passing them around to get him into the house. It was like pure efficiency in motion.
Yo, so I was just looking. I'm looking this up right now. There are only 2 countries in Latin America that have an above replacement birth rate. Oh wait, sorry. 4 countries. Paraguay, Bolivia, Guatemala, and Honduras. Africa, every single country except for 1 has an above replacement rate birth rate. In Europe, not a single country, not even the Balkans, has above replacement rate. In Asia, it's literally just Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Cambodia, and that's it. So basically, the point of this is in 20 years, we're all just going to be African. Like Africans are just going to take over the world. So you guys got to start having kids. Colombian, how many kids do you have? Not enough. You need 3. Go make a kid right now. Stoic, how many kids do you have?
some of the passport bros are like, oh yeah, just make another one, you know, at your big age of 47. Like, nah.
Make another one.
Depends on how young the wife is, you know. Yeah, but I mean, it's not just about her. You know, I get that you can just go younger, but the thing is that it's not just about her. It's about whether you want to chase a little booger around, you know, at 18 years old and you're a senior citizen.
You gotta look. Me and my wife have a specific plan when it comes to children. Is that she's gonna give birth. I'm gonna go to Thailand while she's pregnant. I would come back once a year for a week to get her pregnant again, and then go. No, I'm just kidding. But yo, Thailand has a terrible birth rate too, bro. Fuck. Sorry. Help is on the way.
Help is on the way, exactly. Listen, man, you know, we gotta get the trip going in March, and then maybe bring some replacements down here.
Stoic. I mean, Colombian. You gotta get 2 more kids, and you gotta get 1 more kid for Stoic too. So that's 4. You need 4 more kids.
So, yeah, make up for it. All right, I gotta get four kids pregnant. All right.
Mena, how many kids do you have?
I guess my excuse is I'm 29, but yeah, no.
You should have already had 10. Get more. I'm just fucking. I'm still at 0. Me and my wife are trying though. I'm 34. She's 27 though.
Yeah, I started when I was 29. I was 31. Sorry. My son's crazy.
All right. So will Asuncion become like Medellin due to the many passport bros coming there now? Yeah, I'm actually afraid that I'm gonna be like that. I blew up Asuncion's spot, and then Asuncion is gonna become like Medellin soon. And then, dude, I should start getting paid by these fucking. Someone needs to start paying me. So like, it's got to be at least be these board of tourism people. And then someone said, "Hello, SAR, do not redeem it." All right, I actually, me and my wife have to get ready for church. So, where to go get girls in Morocco? Anywhere. Anyway, thanks everyone for jumping on. Thanks, Colombian Stoic Mena. Appreciate it. Charlie, you got to jump in next time. All right. Talk to you later.